welcome to Unity of Wilmington, whether you're here in person, live stream, or maybe later in the week online. We're here knowing that you are a beloved expression of God, you are here for a holy purpose, and you are always in the right place at the right time, right now.
With a choice and you have to choose, hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And when one door opens to another closed door, hope you keep on walking till you find the window. And if it's cold outside, show the world the warmth in your smile. And more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back and you never forget all the ones who loved you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and you never regret, and you always help someone every chance you get. Oh, you find God's grace in every mistake and always give more than you take. But more than anything, yeah, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. Never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you find somebody who loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. It's my
Terrill Williams and Katie Deese, thank you so much. And it's my wish for you too, that your dreams stay big. And part of what we're wanting to do today is provide some opportunities to assist you, to have some practical skills to allow your wish to stay big. We're talking about who is your medicine today. We don't always think about who our medicine is. Usually with medicine, we think that medicine is going to help us heal something that's out of alignment. And sometimes medicine tastes really good. Sometimes it tastes really bitter. Sometimes it has side effects. Sometimes it has no side effects. But we take it with the expectation of feeling better, of healing, of coming back into awareness of our own wholeness. But sometimes what shows up in our life is a person or an event that becomes the very thing that invites us to look within and to decide if we're going to stand in our heart space of wholeness, or if we're going to move to a victim consciousness. Have you ever had anybody in your life that just knew how to push your buttons? They were very skilled at it. We don't often talk about the fact that we have our button out there. We talk about, hey, you're pushing my buttons. So we've already got our focus out there somewhere else. But sometimes people come into our lives, sometimes events come into our lives that when we stop to reflect, we recognize that we are the ones who are giving away our joy. We are the ones who are giving away our sense of well-beingness because we've given it to somebody else's opinion of us. We've given it to somebody else's way of being with us instead of saying stop. Or instead of saying, that's one of my favorite phrases in the world. And it's one of my favorite phrases because it opens up our capacity for wonder. So when we begin to wonder, how much of this is about me? Not from a narcissistic type of place, but if you're thinking about how much is this about me, you're probably not being narcissistic. But when we say, oh, I wonder what's going on with me, we can actually take that person, take that event, and say, thank you for helping me to notice that there's something in me that I was not feeling as being whole. And boy, I feel it now. And there's nothing wrong with those feelings of feeling frustrated, of feeling overwhelmed. There's nothing wrong with those feelings. There's nothing wrong with sliding into that victim position sometimes. But I believe our task in being human is to notice when we have done that and to recognize that we have the power to step back into our wholeness, to step out of that victim position and step back into our wholeness. So Stella Mann says, things do not just happen at the rim of the circle of our experience. So things don't happen just outside here, because all of us have a circle of our experience around us. So things don't happen just outside here. We're creating them. This is the hardest thing to embrace for me at times. Oh, I engaged in a behavior. I had a thought. I had a feeling that I held on to for a long time. And I am part of what happened. I have to take responsibility. I have to be response agile to recognize my part in a situation. My part is only 100%. Somebody else's part is only 100%. But many times we're encouraged to take far more than our 100%, particularly if somebody's standing in a victim position. Oh, I feel so blah, blah, blah because of you. You made me feel this way. So then that person is giving up their 100%. And if we're standing in more than our 100% and we take it on, then we are going to engage in a kind of lopsided dance. But Stella Mann says we are creating that dance then. We are taking on more than our 100% responsibility. Thus, we are creating that lopsided dance. We're directing it. We're directing our own life from our thoughts and our feelings. We are bringing forth an energy because we are creators that is opening this up. And then we say, hey, why are you doing this? Why is God doing this? So we give up responsibility. We pop right back over here into victim, and we dance in life as if we have a flat tire. We go kind of wonky in life. But when we can recognize that we are directing, we are ordering, we are creating things based on our own experience, based on our own projection in life, that brings the possibility of standing in our power. And because we have all of the capacities of God with us, we are the expression of all those capacities when we choose to take them. So it gives us the opportunity to say, oh, hey, look where I landed in this victim position. Do I want to be here, or do I want to milk it for all it's worth and have some fun with it? You can, watch some sad movies and have a really good time until you're ready to step into that empowering place. One of the things I love about the New Thought movement, one of the things I love about Unity Principle is in every moment it calls us to take full 100% responsibility, to be able to respond to what is happening out there in life, to pick it up, make a choice. We have the possibility to make a choice, and the choice that we make will determine where we land, what foundation of consciousness that we will land upon. But it's up to us. Have you ever felt sad for somebody for their circumstance? Now, we certainly don't want to go and say, hey, it was your thoughts that created this. That's metaphysical malpractice. But what we can do, it really is. But what we can do is sit with somebody and say, what's going on in your life? Is there a way I can support you? Are you willing to share some of your thoughts with me? Are you open to some of how I might deal with this, or how I have moved through this when I've been in this similar situation? Because is there anybody in this room who hasn't been in the victim position? I certainly cannot raise my hand. I grew up playing in this position a lot. And it was a journey to move from this consciousness to a consciousness of really embracing that I am whole. And I am still in the process of embracing that wholeness. And I'm going to put it to you another way. I am still in the process of living in my full divinity, which is infinite. And what that means is all of us, it's not just me, all of us have infinite love. But think about how sometimes in our lives we feel a little overwhelmed by how much someone's loving us, and we shut it down. Oh, that's a little too much love. Oh, that's a little scary. What if my heart gets hurt again? We have infinite understanding that's already within us. We have infinite faith that is already within us. How are we bringing it forth and being the expression of God that we are from that place of infiniteness? A lot of people like to use the term ego. It's a psychological term. We need ego strength. I would have to have some level of ego strength to be able to stand up here and talk to you guys about this. You have to have a level of ego strength to show up in the world. But I want to give you a new definition of ego. Ego is that part of us that is fully divine and not being expressed. So we're expressing a degree of our divinity all the time, but the ego part is the part that's not being expressed. So when I'm standing over here in victim consciousness and I'm not catching that I'm standing there, and sometimes it takes somebody to say, hey, do you know where you are? From a loving kind of place. So that I can go, oh my goodness, thank you very much. And people do it in all kinds of ways. They do it in the way that is your favorite button to be pushed, that you have out there, that you don't really want to have out there, but you got it out there. People are very skilled at it. I don't always see my own buttons, but other people are really good at seeing them and pushing them. And so I have an opportunity, and this is the medicine. I have an opportunity to say, where am I going to be? Am I going to give away my joy? Am I going to say I'm not enough? And I'm going to say, oh, I don't understand why this is happening to me again. Or am I going to stand in my power and say, wow, I wonder what in me is seeking healing. It's a different place. Why is this happening to me again? I wonder what in me is seeking healing, something that I haven't seen before, or something that I saw, I thought I had healed, I thought I had worked through, I thought I had come to completion with it, and here it is again. So I could actually send somebody a thank you card. Thank you for helping me see where I feel like I am not good enough. Thank you for helping me see where I feel like I'm incomplete. What a gift we give each other as we're just moving through our own humanness and being who we are. Sometimes I'm like a little Labrador retriever, just being who I am. And I don't recognize that my sort of being in life might be touching one of your buttons, or I may be purposely pushing your button. And whether I'm purposely pushing your button or whether I'm just sort of moving through life a little bit clueless, a little bit unaware, either way, that's me. And you are your response and your reaction to it. I don't have any control over that. I might be the catalyst for being your medicine. I might be that bitter pill. I might be that nasty tasting stuff. But what an opportunity we are being given in every moment of every day to see, where am I not seeing myself as whole? Where am I not seeing myself as complete? Where am I not seeing myself as good enough and living fully in my divinity? Carl Jung says, and I apologize to you guys who are online, because this is a long quote, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of others. Knowing our own darkness, knowing our own buttons, knowing our own woundedness, or how we perceive ourselves to be wounded, because truly, ultimately, we are whole. We have to be whole because we're created in the image of and as the likeness of God, and God is whole. Holy means wholeness. And as we live in our own holiness, we are living in our own wholeness. But sometimes we step out of it. But Jung says the best way, the absolute best method is not to look out there, but to look in here. Oh, what in me is being triggered from my past? One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but making the darkness conscious. So when somebody is being our medicine, when somebody is pushing our buttons, they are actually making our darkness conscious. They're bringing it into our awareness. Every time I get mad, it's bringing something that is unhealed into my awareness. Every time I get scared because maybe you're not going to like me, it's bringing something within me that is unhealed. We are the place where God shows up. And so we're showing up fully divine and fully human. So we're going to have all the expressions of humanness, but we have all of the capacities of our divinity to manage, to handle, to navigate that humanness. For every single event, every single person in the world, we have within us the capabilities to know how to do that, how to handle that, how to allow it to unfold, whatever the it is for you, which is probably going to be a different it for me. We have that capacity because we have the presence of God as us. And so we can stand in the consciousness of victimhood. We can stand in the consciousness of, oh, I'm beginning to learn how to create a life that's fulfilling to me. I can stand in the consciousness of what we call vessels, kinds of consciousness where I allow God to flow through me. I can stand in the consciousness of I have everything that I need within me in this moment. I will never have more faith, but the question is, how am I using my faith? We have that within us already. And so what Jung says is that the most terrifying thing is to accept ourselves completely. What if that part of yourself that you try to hide from others, what if you wrapped your own arms around that? Because it's in our eyes or in somebody else's human eyes that we're less than. God is principle. So in principle, as principle, we can never be less than whole. Anytime we see ourselves as less than whole, anytime we buy into the belief that somebody else sees us as less than whole, we are facing into our own darkness. And Carl Jung says, facing that darkness and embracing it fully is the thing that opens us up to being able to receive the light, the love, the abundance that is already around us. Jung goes on to say, he who looks outside or she who looks outside dreams. But when we look inside, we awaken our consciousness. So I want to give you some questions that I have for myself when this comes up for me. And these may work for you, and you may need to create different questions for yourself. The first one is, what am I experiencing? What am I experiencing in this moment? Not what do I think I should be experiencing, which many of us go to, but what am I actually experiencing? And am I willing to sit with that question, to float that question? There's philosopher Rilke who says, live in that question so that you can live into the answer. Don't rush it. What is my experience in this moment? What is my experience in this moment? What is my experience in this moment? So we're really allowing ourselves the time, the reflection, to answer that question from within us. And once that question becomes an answer, not seeking an answer from out here, but comes from within us and becomes that answer, the next step is, how is this familiar from my past? How is this experience familiar from my past? Another way to say that is, how am I bringing my past out of the past and bringing it forward into this now moment? Researchers say that we only actually get our memories right, accurate memories, about 50% of the time. And that what happens is we have a thought that comes out of our past, and we take it and we believe it as fact. And the moment we're holding on to that thought, there's a cascade of chemicals in our body that begins to work in our brain and then right down to our adrenals and begins to shut down our neocortex and open up our limbic system. And so we have difficulty thinking clearly, but we have a lot of adrenaline being produced in our body. How am I bringing my past forward? How is this experience, how is this person, how is this event being similar to something that I had in the past? And then the last question, who from my past am I projecting onto this experience or this person? We don't recognize most often how we can walk to a room and somebody has a facial expression on and it looks like mom or dad from when we were young. They don't know that. But we instantly bring our past forward and go into, oh, that person's acting like my dad. That person's acting like my mom. They're not respecting me. They're not this, they're not that. Whatever your unique is. And we all have a story. We all have a theme for that. And when it emerges, that theme, we take that theme as fact, rather than stand in the consciousness of our wholeness and really believe that the person is providing us a mirror to a place within us, that we are not seeing ourselves as whole, as complete, as divine. No one and nothing is against us. No matter what appearances look like out there, no one and nothing is against us. This is a variation on what Miguel Ruiz teaches of take nothing personally. But this is the very foundation of take nothing personally. No one and nothing is against us. We're all just living in our own curriculum. We're all just, going through our own way of being in the world. And sometimes when we go through that way of being, we push up against each other's buttons accidentally. Sometimes we're going through our way of being and we see a button out there and we say, ooh, let me push that and see what happens. That's what we do. And then we stand back and say, oh, wow, they're really mad. They're mad at me. I think I'll go over here. I don't understand what that happened. But when we're willing to, as Stella Mann says, look from the edges to the center, what in me called that forth? What a powerful place to be. Because if I called it forth, I can make the shift. I can make it be different. Because all I have to do is change my frequency, change my energy. And that's what we teach all the time here. I was in a workshop, this was several years ago, and I had come in a little bit late, and the workshop facilitator was somebody that I cared deeply about, and I knew she cared deeply about me. She knew I was going to be late. I had communicated that prior to that time, and I came in, I sat down, and she said something to me, and I thought, oh. So I got my button pushed. And I said something in response, and she said something back to me, and I got my button pushed again. And then I had a very clear thought. We get what we're committed to. And I thought, well, that's within me. Who is she reminding me of? Oh, I got it. I knew instantly who she was reminding me of. And I said, very quietly, I commit to creating ease in our communication this week while we're together. And I bet you can guess what happened. An instant shift. Because I shifted my commitment from being in a victim stance. Oh, she was mean to me. Oh, she doesn't like me anymore. You know, the things that run through everybody's head. And again, it's not bad to be in this consciousness. We just, the goal is to catch it so we live over here in our divinity. And I made a different commitment. And for the rest of the week, we had a blast together while we were in this workshop. Going to lunch, doing things, participating together. I got to, do some of the processes with her. It was easy. If I had not moved from here to here and I had chosen to stay here, I would not have had a spectacular week. We have far more control of our lives than we recognize. And Unity and me, and almost every Unity minister I know, and every New Thought minister, and a whole lot of others who are not, and I believe the presence of God as Jesus invites us to live fully in our wholeness, to recommit and recommit and recommit as many times as we need to have that fullness of our dream that Terrill sang about. No one and nothing is against us. The author of Romans says, do not allow this world to mold you in its own image. Instead, be transformed from the inside out by renewing your mind. That's what I'm talking about here today. Who's your medicine? Who pushes your buttons? Let yourself be transformed by thinking in a different way, by seeing in a different way. And then the author of 1 Thessalonians says, encourage each other and build each other up, just as we are already doing. This is the spiritual community that comes together in love. I want you to just look around for a moment. And if you're at home, look around, see who's on that list, see who has chatted, and choose a person in this room and just love them. Love them for the sake of loving with no idea of any outcome. And if you're listening to this later, look at that list that's on the chat. Or think about a person in your life, or look at a picture of a person, or even your animals, and just take a moment of love for the sake of loving, because that's principle. The energy that emanates from our hearts and wants nothing but the best for each other, to uplift, to praise, to say thank you for being here, to say, oh, I'm so happy to see you, to let our hearts open up with each other. And to know that that opening of a heart, when we open to each other, is there potential for pain? Yes. But the numbness that would come from not opening our hearts is a place I do not want to go to. Because what I want to do is stay in that frequency and that consciousness of love to really support and uplift, to hear the joys of your day, of your week, of your life, to hear your dreams so that I can hold those dreams in consciousness with you, to support you and say, yes, I believe you can do it, because what we believe of God is what we can believe of ourselves as being able to do. Because we are created in the image and the likeness of God. So if somebody shows up as your medicine this week, I invite you to send them a thank you card. It's radical. I mean, it is totally radical. But thank you for helping me see a part of myself I had not seen. And even if you don't want to be as radical as sending them a card, say it to them. In our oneness, that individual will get it. And I would name them. Thank you for helping me see a part of myself that I haven't been loving. Thank you for helping me see a part of myself that I don't see as whole. Thank you for being a presence of a catalyst in my life. Because when you think about it, we're like a pot. You know, we're like a pot. And the law of physics says that when that pot and the contents in that pot hit 212 degrees, it starts to boil. So there's a catalyst. But the catalyst was necessary. So sometimes our medicine coming in an event or a person is necessary for us to see what's going on with us that we're not seeing. Maybe we've had sort of glimpses of it, but we didn't want to pay attention. But to always go within. God is our resource. Principle is our resource. God is not going to do it for us. God did not do it to us. And that's one of the radical ways unity is different. It is our response, agility, to bring our lives into the fullness and the wholeness and the joy and the harmony that we most want to experience. God is our resource. No one else, no one and nothing is against us. How are you using your resources right now? How did you use them last week? And how do you plan to use them this next week? So let's take this questions, this thought, this nugget into a time of meditation. God is my resource. Focusing on our breath for a moment. Focusing on our heart. And allowing our thoughts to simply flow. And now let's take charge of those thoughts. God is my resource. No one and nothing is against me. When I'm willing to look deep within me to those parts that I don't even want to look at, even when somebody who's in front of me is pushing my button and calling them forth, when I'm willing to embrace them with the love that I am, the I am within myself, and I'm willing to embrace those thoughts, no matter what anybody says or does, I can stand fully in my wholeness. I can stand in my divinity. I can stand in my humanness. And I can stand in the point of choice of how am I going to be in this situation? Who do I want to show up as? And my hope for you is that you choose to show up as the wholeness, the expression of God that you are. We have the resource, we have the faith, we have the harmony, we have the spiritual intelligence already within us. Take a moment and think about who pushes your buttons. And don't send them love, because if your buttons are being pushed and you're sending love, you're sending the frequency of your button being pushed. But instead, come back to your heart space and breathe into your heart space and surround that individual or that event with love. The love that emanates from the heart and what's nothing but the best for yourself and the other, for yourself and the event. Standing fully in your wholeness, knowing that you are loved. You are loved and you are loved. So gently and easily in your mind, say that to yourself. I am love and I am loved. I am loved beyond measure. I'm loved more than my human capacity knows in this moment. And I'm willing to expand my human capacity so I can express more of the love that I am in my life and in the world. This is something to celebrate because it's already within us. This is something to celebrate because it's who we truly are at the very center and core of ourselves. So I celebrate you and the love that you are.
We hide pain in the weirdest places, broken souls and smiling faces, fighting for surrender from now and the after, yeah. Just look around and you see that people afraid to say how they really feel. Oh, we all need a little honesty, yeah. You are loved if your heart's in 1,000 pieces, if you're lost and far from reason. Just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are loved. If you feel like something's missing, if it hurts and you can't find healing, just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are loved. We're not made to be superheroes, photoshopped all size zeros, light not expected, but not quite perfected yet. Just look up, see the sun is shining. There's hope on a new horizon, calling you. It's calling you. Are loved if your heart's in 1,000 pieces, if you're lost and far from reason. Just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are loved. If it feels like something's missing, if it hurts and you can't find healing, just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you don't have to prove yourself. Don't try to be someone else. You don't have to prove yourself. Don't try to be someone else. You are loved.
If you've been moved or inspired by our service here today, please consider giving to Unity of Wilmington. For those of you here, there's a basket in the back, or you can send us a check, donate on our website, or via Venmo.
And no one and nothing is against you. So I invite you as you move through this week to remember that, to stand fully in your power, to know that you have all of the wisdom within you already to handle whatever comes before you. And beyond any shadow of a doubt, to remember that you are love and you are loved.
You are loved if your heart's in 1,000 pieces. If you're lost and far from reason, just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are loved. If you feel like something's missing, if you're hurt and you can't find healing, just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are loved. If your heart's in 1,000 pieces, if you're lost and far from a reason, just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are loved. If it feels like something's missing, if it hurts and you can't find healing, just look up, know you are loved. Just look up, know you are